Hello. Hello. Hi, Shrisi.
Hey Paresh, hi. Good
Hi.
evening.
Hi, good evening.
I'm not able to hear you.
Not able to hear me? Just a minute. Hello.
No, I can just read your lip movement. Okay.
I can hear
Okay,
you.
sorry. It was something in my yeah, perfect. So we can just wait for another minute. I see
Sure, sure.
participants joining in and we'll begin once they join.
Sure. Absolutely.
Okay, guys, while we have people joining in, why don't you all share what is your expectation from this masterclass? What are any thoughts, anything that you have come with, anything in your mind, anything that you wish to learn, maybe in a phrase or a short sentence or few words. If you all could share it on the chat, or if someone wants to speak, maybe you could just unmute and start speaking.
And maybe the college and background as well.
Yes, please do that, guys. So while you speak, do share, something about yourself, like, what do you do? What is, your background, etc. Go ahead, guys. Please put it up.
Hi there, this is Kaushal here. I'm currently expecting that I know Paresh sir, like he's the founder of Vave Group, I think. So he maintains the alumni network for different institutions, and I'm one of the institute which he maintains. I've done my bachelor's from JNTUH, Hyderabad. So yeah, pretty much excited for the session.
Nice question. First time I'm getting someone who knows me already. Yeah.
That's really a nice coincidence and great to see that. So, guys, do share what is your expectation? What are you here for? Anything that you wish to learn in specific? Of course, Paresh is here to share his journey, his side of the story, entrepreneurship story. But okay, Isha, of course, I know her, but this is for you, Paresh.
Yeah.
So she's graduated in commerce and she has a passion for artistic inclination towards colors, graphic designing, etc. Shrikutan, it would be nice if you could also share. And guys, please keep your cameras on. It's a better interaction, you know, looking at your faces. Don't worry, we're not really bothered about your background or what you're wearing, but it would always be nice to have a two-way communication, as I always say. So we have more responses. Paresh, Alvin is from St. Joseph's College. He's here to learn and seek, you know, help for app and web development. So keep it going, guys. Let me just share my screen. So hi everyone, I really hope I'm audible and you're able to see me. I've used this particular sentence nth time during the last 1.5 years. Welcome to this week's masterclass, and we basically, the objective of this particular session is that you will be able to appreciate the process of opportunity identification, and not just identifying it but also evaluating slash validating it, right? We have been talking about the problem, the opportunity, the validation part of it, but today you will hear it from a very successful entrepreneur, you know, and get to learn whatever you can from his journey. So what is in it for you? There are many ways to discover your big opportunity, and this process is almost as important as the opportunity itself. Like we say, you know, that the road to the destination is as important as the destination. Similarly, the opportunities process is really important. How you know, perceive the opportunity, how you go about validating it, etc., etc. So how did you get there, you know, forms a compelling story everyone wants to hear, and let's make it a story worth telling. So really excited to introduce you to Paresh. He's the founder and managing director of Huawei. He, of course, as entrepreneurs, are passionate about his dream to solve the quality and infrastructure problems of education sector by connecting alumni back to institutions. As mentioned, he's the founder of Huawei, where they are building an alumni networking that helps schools and colleges to build an exclusive alumni portal. Wow, that's actually an amazing, venture. But even before we begin, Paresh, would you like to share what is the meaning of this term Huawei, or how did you even get this idea of, you know, naming it particularly? Because this is something that I found very interesting. It's not something that I've really heard of. So if you could, you know, start with that, it would be really nice.
So yeah, thank you for having me here. That's really pleasure, and always a pleasure to come back to Advani, because somewhere this is where your roots lie. I was a part of NEN when in college, and part of ECL and everything. So it's always good to see back, connecting back with Advani and being here. So yeah, wow. We don't call it Huawei, we call it WOW, WOW. Okay, it bit different pronunciation. We call like an awesome wow. So we say wow feeling kind of thing, right? To be straight, candid, it's like we just were looking about names, and then we got a 5-letter domain name. 5letter.com is very difficult to get. VWE.com was very unique. There was nothing available, something, and then that's how we looked at. And then, like most of the marketing campaigns that you do, you first create a name and then create a meaning out of it, and that's what we did. Yeah, so
that's highly interesting.
Yeah, that's the true story. There's nothing another meaning. Yeah, but we call it wow. So awesome.
But definitely, yeah, you can relate some meanings to it. I mean, even though you went with the name first and meaning later, but I'm sure there are a lot of meanings to it. So absolutely, that's really
So
interesting.
we use now like since the day we named it wow, we've been using that very well, because everything that we do has to be really awesome. That's what we look at. Every person in the team has to be awesome. So that's how we relate to it, and we say we call ourselves Wowsters. So that's a big name that we use.
Nice. That's the ultimate goal. Awesome. Wow. Nice. Great. So, thinking about it, I mean, thinking about your entrepreneurial journey, and obviously there must have been a point where you identified a problem and you kind of, maybe there were certain many opportunities available, but why did you zero down to this specific opportunity on which you've been working for, almost 14 years to be, precise? So how and why did you zero down to this particular opportunity about the organization you're leading?
Okay, so the numbers will be deceptive. I will probably have to give a bit background about the journey that
Sure.
will give a good sense. So I was a student entrepreneur. I started my company while I was in college in my graduation itself. uh, I used to start doing a lot of websites and applications. That's how, like most of you guys, I'm a mechanical engineer, but I like doing websites and design, graphics, and everything is something that I was very passionate about, and learned all of that by myself. I was working with an NGO back in Hyderabad. Then they asked me to do a website for them. I did that as a freelance, just as a out of passion, nothing else. And one thing led into other. People liked that really well, and then the people started asking me to do a website for a fee, and I started doing freelancing. Okay. Though I started doing freelancing, I always had a brand. I created a brand, everything as a website and everything. That's how the first time when I registered, the company is called Coherence. Wow is a product of its. Coherence started in 2007. That's how the number is 14 years now. Okay, I've been an entrepreneur for 14 years, but yeah. So when I went into NITI is my post-graduation. That's where the things start changing, because the wanting to be an entrepreneur was always on back of your mind. But being in a top base school, you would want to work for a couple of years, make some money out, and then come back. Fortunately, ours was a recession batch 2009, and then there was one professor at NITI called Professor Mandi. Professor Prasad is what we call him. He asked me to register. This was still going on. I used to still make almost about 5K a month back in college. That was a good money back in college, because you are getting a stipend on one say your scholarship, and you also have your pocket money, and you don't have to ask your parents, and that's a good thing. So being a student entrepreneur helped me a lot there. I always say this, I used to work in the nights and sleep in the class. Okay. Fun to say, but yeah, that was something very nice, and that's an experience that I really cherish yet. So 2009, when recession hit, uh, our seniors and all usually had packages of 12 lakhs plus and all, and suddenly it dropped to almost 6.5 lakhs for our batch. And I said, hey, if it's that's money I need to make, I could do it by doing websites. Why do I need to even go and join a job? And that's where I came back to Hyderabad. Okay. Now this is very interesting, because when you zero down opportunity, it was not that this idea was always there, idea of wanting to build an alumni engagement, because that was always there. But I came back to Hyderabad wanting to start a food chain. Okay. Food chain as a part of my final year project. I worked on it for about 6 months. Realized that I was very young and I need some operational experience before I actually take it full time. I was losing out of all my stipend and resources, all the money that I had. And then I said, okay, websites are already doing well. Let me continue doing the services company, the website application services company that's there. So that's a quick overview of how it's transitioned and how I became an entrepreneur. Fortunately, always every downturn has a good thing. So that downturn was 2009 downturn was very good for me to I jumped into becoming an entrepreneur. And once you become an entrepreneur, it's very difficult to go back. Okay. So whatever happens, you continue doing that. So yeah, it's been about 10 years, 12 years now, full time into entrepreneurship, of which again, it was a services company until 2014. We were a team of almost 30 people. We had projects across the globe, like any typical IT services company back then, right? So we did that until 2014. This idea of alumni engagement has been very connected to me since the early days. Like, what happens when you start doing websites and all? First thing that you do is your school website, and I built a very good website for my school, and it saw good traffic back in the days of Orkut, not even Facebook there. Okay. And it saw very good traffic, and I said, yeah, that's very important. I realized that most of my alumni from my school, I come from very backward district in Telangana. Okay. So most of my alumni, though it's a backward district, they were in US. They were doing really well outside, and that somewhere clicked on a lot. I felt like, hey, that's why don't people engage with alumni? And if you look at back in those days, Orkut and Facebook groups as well, people used to go and join those school groups and college groups only. Okay, that's the first thing that you went and joined. Okay, things change dynamically at NITI. Okay, what I realized at NITI is that though I didn't attend a lot of classes, most of the learnings happened through alumni. We used to have at least one or the two top alumni coming to our campus, giving guest lecture or some kind of interaction happening every other week. That was very important. That's the difference between what happened at your master's college, which is one of the top colleges, versus a regular. My graduation college was not so great, so we didn't have any of the exposure at the college. Okay, now that is a major problem in India today. Okay, if you look at the problem, people graduate the 4 years, and even the computer science graduate may not know what is a Python. Okay, so today everyone knows Python. That's different, but back then still Python was not known to people, even the computer science grads. And employability is what we call is a major challenge, right? And infrastructure, like say, when you say for a school like mine, about 100 people coming back and giving at least 10,000 rupees a year is a big money, huge money that can be contributed back. So there was no channel. It was at NITI, the exposure to what's alumni engagement, what's powerful it is, and it's very popular and powerful in West. Just that in India hasn't adopted it somewhere. There was no proper channels, and that's when we'll build it. Now, how do you zero down the opportunity? Hey, this was idea. Okay, I didn't know how to run a business as well, so it took a lot of time for me. But idea to build this product was always there. So we got our first customer for WoW in 2011. Okay, and this is something that I always say. I got my customer even before the product was ready. Okay, so sell before you build is what I say. And that's what we got. We just had some mock-ups. We just got some idea. We showed them what we want to do. We got a check of 1.5 lakh, and then we started delivering the product. We built some product. We started building the product, but we got first validation from the customer. And the next 3 years, we got just about 12 customers. That was good, but most of the feedback was always from the customers. They used the product. They were paying us, and they were screaming at because things were not working, and then they made us to build the product. Okay, and lots of times they were the testers for us. And so how did we zero down the opportunity? Yeah, it was something from a thing that, hey, this is a big space for sure. Alumni engagement was very powerful. That is a conviction that I had. But it was a validation from the customer. Always there was like customer who was ready to pay for me. I built up a product, and then in 2014 we cut it down. We shut everything, was shut down, and then we went back to a 5-people team, and then started building this product fully. So that's how the journey is. Yeah, I did switch the companies. It's the same company. Mm-hmm. That's the reason it shows such a long, but it's been multiple short stints in different. Yeah,
absolutely.
So
that's really interesting.
Correct page would be about, I would say, 7, 8 years old now.
Absolutely. And that's really interesting. And my takeaway definitely from this conversation is that sell before you start. I mean, you should know, I mean, validate it. Like, if people are willing to pay you, I mean, you've just kind of solved the biggest
I have another story there. I'll come back, but yeah, I'll go ahead and then we'll come back on that particular story of why do you sell before you build. Okay.
Definitely, Paresh. So what were the core guiding, ideologies or principles that really helped you to stay true to this idea about alumni engagement? Like,
I think I told about that, right? So this starts with why. Why are you doing this? Okay. So there were downturns always. So what's important is why are you doing this? Okay. That's more important than anything else. And because any startup, any idea that you want to build, you'll face a lot of challenges. Okay, there were at least 3 or 4 times where almost all of our teams left, and we were back to very ground. We didn't know what, and you will be disillusioned about what to do. Okay, and every time you get that, what happens is that if you're not very convinced about what you're going to do, why you are doing that, you will find the first opportunity to give an excuse and run away.
Exactly.
Okay, you will probably say, hey, this is okay, it's not working, let me try out something else. Now, but when we say, hey, this is why I am here, I'm here to basically, alumni engagement is a big area within India, and it's like something has to change. Your education system has to change. You are impacting the quality of education, right? If that is the idea that you want to stick to, and everything else doesn't matter, all of these are small challenges that come in. So what kept us persistent for quite some time is like, why are we doing it? The purpose of the existence of the platform or product that you're building.
Absolutely. So, I mean, the why and, having that passion and just staying, consistently on your idea is something that definitely is a reason why a lot of entrepreneurs are able to sustain their idea, if not anything else. So definitely, I mean, that is something, being true to the idea that you're working on. So now coming to, directly the problem and the opportunity that you got about this alumni engagement and, building a platform. But did you like validate this particular problem even before starting, working on the solution? Or how did you go about the validation part of it? Or because you thought it was a great idea, like what was the process of validation?
So there are two phases in that. I'll give you, because what I did very early on in my journey, I would not do it today. Okay, well, both the things work. So I was always a sales first guy. I was a techie guy and a developer and a design guy. I am always a sales first guy. I've been always selling. Okay, I got my customers before anything. So yes, this product as well, we sold first. We got a customer who was ready to pay money for you, and we never give out for free to any of the customers. Okay, and this is something that helped us very well. There's a reason why we should not give anything for free. Can anyone guess that? Can anyone just say why do you think so?
Please share your responses, guys. You may just unmute and speak if you want. Why do you think you should not give, away your ideas or products or even
There was
trials?
a very interesting reason. Then this is something that we discovered ourselves. Okay, we never go for free, and then actually helped us a lot.
So Nikita is saying
that
people take it for
feel like
granted.
there's a need for paying to it.
It
They don't
validates
understand.
it. Okay. Now, take answers are to an extent right what you're saying, but say a simple thing. Okay, if you got an iPhone for free and if it's not working, okay, what do you do? And you need a phone, right? So what do? You throw it away and you'll probably switch to other phone. Okay, but if you paid for an iPhone and it's not working, what do? You go around the call center. If they are not responding, you will bang their head. You'll go to court. Whatever you do to make it work, right? So when you're paying for something, you make it work. Okay, that's what a customer does. If a customer is paying for a product, they will make sure that you are doing the right thing. Okay, a simple, very simple thing. If the customer is paying, they will make sure that you are doing the right thing. And we always keep wondering about, hey, what is the right thing to do? Okay, we don't need to do anything. We just do a customer, speak to them. And I think someone asked in the first session, how do I do a customer interview? Okay, yeah, there's a process about doing customer interviews, but I think ideally is that, hey, if the customer is ready to pay, is paying, he is going to work with you. And I'll give you a real example. There's a vice president of Reliance who was one of our alumni association's president. Okay, he is so busy man, right? A vice president at Reliance, and he used to literally test our product. Okay, everything that's not working, he used to scream at me, saying, "What is that you built?" Okay, and so he was a kind of a user and tester for us, and he was spending hours being a Reliance vice president. And you can't get that anywhere if you don't get a paid customer. So getting a paid customer is the first thing that I would say always be the case. Either customer has to pay, and you may ask me, hey, WhatsApp doesn't, no one pays for WhatsApp. No, if people they are not paying, they need to spend time on that. Either one of them, they need to spend time like without you are asking them, okay, or they need to pay for your product. Either two of them, only that's the best way to validate. There's no other way to validate the customer. Now, we took almost 2 years to do multiple things. We dabbled on, we're doing other projects and focus was not there. That's the reason we took time to validate and all. But I will give another example. Like say we do also for corporates. Okay, corporates is companies also want to engage with their ex-employees, and we have about 11 customers now, includes top companies like Tata Steel, Qualcomm, Bosch, and many other things. Okay, and we are probably the only players in India who are doing that very advanced thing that we are doing now. So first customer, when we had colleges with us working, Qualcomm approached us asking that, can you do it for us? Okay, they wanted to build an alumni platform for their network. Now we didn't have it, but we looked at their requirements, everything was matching. And we didn't give it for free. Most of the times what will happen is that, hey, Qualcomm is coming, can you do it for free? Because it's a big customer, big name that you're getting. No, we didn't do that. Okay, they paid normal amount, not a big amount, but compared to colleges, it's much higher. But still, it's an amount that they paid, which probably on an enterprise level, that's low. But what happened, beautiful thing that happened was Qualcomm's like the director of HR at Bangalore, who sits at Bangalore. He literally sat with me every 15 days to review the platform, because we told we are going to change it for you. We're not going to give the same deployment. But he gave me the requirements. He gave me the needs, what they are looking at. The platform looks same, but it's the different needs for a corporate customer versus a college. Okay. The same is different for a school versus a college, actually. Not even they're not all same. All customers are never same. Okay. And that is the idea that we got. Hey, we sold it for Corcom, but we got a paid customer. He sat with us, worked on to build it for some time. That's where now everything I still like, whenever I pitch to a new company, I remember what they told. Okay, it's very important things like what are corporates worried about? They are worried about people ranting about the company after leaving the company. No, they don't want discussion boards. You don't want, so they're very, very minute, but these are things that you get from a customer. You sit with them. So what is the best way to do a customer interview? Sit with them. There's no other way. Okay, and just listen with an answer to try. Can you make him a part of your problem? Can you make a customer part of your problem? And together solve the problem. And that's the best thing. And I would say a nice thing for that is, hey, I sold for Qualcomm the same product we sold for Tata Steel at almost 10x the price.
Wow.
That's about 3 years from there. Okay, that's a big money. And that was like our customers paying us the money. It's like a small angel investor, actually, if Tata Steel's deal is to be counted. Okay, so that's the overview. And I think we are building multiple new products into the platform. We've been doing that now. Last couple of years, we've been doing very differently. Okay, now that we understood what we are supposed to do, we are always in touch with customers. We're looking out for more actively on what they want. And we've been building, like one of the same platform that we built right now is called 13x Learning, which is like you learn from your alumni. We've been doing like almost 300 plus sessions. What we are doing right now is a similar session, but you do it from alumni to students. So we did close to about 300 sessions in the last 1 year. This idea just came in during the pandemic because everyone was getting to finding ways to engage with their alumni. We built up it's not a product as well. It's just a wireframe. You see from outside it's a product, but for it's still nothing done. So we rolled out within like few weeks. We rolled out a product, we got running, we got doing sessions. We kept improving the product now. So this product is like, we just got it within, I think total product was still, it was not take more than 3 to 4 weeks to get it live. Okay. We did the improvements. Now it's a pretty stable. That's for about 4 or 5 months or something that we did, kept changing. And the product that we're building right now is into like audio rooms kind of thing. Like you must have known Clubhouse, something similar we are doing within the alumni network. Now that product came out within a week. Okay, a first draft of it came out within a week. We showed it to the customers. We got them. We told, hey, this is what we are trying to build, and then they gave us the feedback. And total product is out in 3 months, the first beta version. But the first rollouts did not even wait for 3 months. So what I would say is, hey, if you need to validate something, get a paying customer. That's the simple thing that I learned, and you just need to go and jump into the customers. Don't think that you need something ready. Even if your product is not ready, go and speak to customers. Ask them, can you pay for this? Can you use this? Is not answer. Can you pay for this? If yes, can you send a check right now? I will give it after 3 months. I will give a discount because you're signing a check today. Okay, that's the pitch that you have to go with.
Absolutely, Paresh. I would say that is definitely a great tip for our young entrepreneurs, that customers, of course, are the crux of all the feedback and improvements that you can do. And it's a reiterating process, right? It's not just like right now you take the customer feedback and stop. And obviously paying customers would be the best critiques for any product or service that they use. So that's really a great, feedback. And of course, I mean, did you think about, so I'm not sure if there were like existing alternatives at that point other than the Orkut communities, with respect to the alumni engagement, but were there any alternatives, and how did you evaluate the existing alternatives?
So there will be alternatives always for any problem. It's not that they'll not be. And it's good to have alternatives, because if you're creating something very new, maybe the people don't even want that. Okay, if there is no competitor in a space, definitely is that. So we could not raise a lot of funds. One of the things for sure is I didn't raise a fund. We are a mostly bootstrap company. Earlier we tried raising, could not. Now we are self-sustainable. We are not raising. That's a different question. Okay, but when we wanted to raise, there's no other competitor. There's no one similar to that. No one similar to this in US or any other markets who raise funds. Okay, now you can't raise funds if you don't have competitors. be sure of that. Okay, there's no doubt of whether will investors fund. No, investors are not unique guys, they are me too guys. They look at people, they say all the new things, I will fund the new products, or no, they're not. They look out the market, which is the best market. They see what are the solutions. If you are providing a better alternative and you are doing well, they will fund you. Okay, they are not going to find innovations. They're not for innovations. Actually, they are looking forward for picking up something for that's pretty bit of new dimension or new version, and then just scale it up. Okay, that's the thing. And if you don't have alternatives, then it means that the market doesn't exist. Okay, now what is the alternative for us? It was Facebook. We were competing with Facebook, we were competing with LinkedIn, we were competing with everything else that people were using. They were mailing groups that people were using, mailing lists. That's Yahoo Mail. I don't know if you guys will remember that. There's something called Yahoo Mails, Yahoo Groups, and Google Groups. Okay, that were very active. Now today's competition is WhatsApp. Okay, today people still are connected. Your alumni, almost everyone has a school group on WhatsApp. Okay, and yeah, that's an alternative. Yeah, are we competing with that? Probably not. We are doing something different. We are providing a different solution, but there will be alternatives always. And it's good to have that, because if something that you can pull in from there, you would want to do that. If something works really well there, you would want to copy that feature and build it for you.
Absolutely, absolutely. I definitely agree with your thoughts that no matter what, even if the direct competitors are not there, but then there is indirect competition if you are catering to the same customer segment. So definitely you need to evaluate, what the value proposition, and based on that you need to work on your venture. So coming back to your idea, that were you like very sure about whether this problem is worth solving? Like, how sure were you when you started in the beginning of the journey? And of course, we can talk about it right now.
Yeah,
When you are like quite
and
successful.
this is not the question that will come to you in beginning of the journey. Okay, this is a question that comes to you almost every other break that you get in. Okay, you will start evaluating, self-doubting whether this is something that's worth solving. Okay, that's a question that will come to almost every entrepreneur, every point of time, saying that is it something that, why am I struggling so much? Is it even worth of solving that question? Okay, now yes, absolutely, that's always there earlier. So one of the early decisions when we took was, we had about 12 customers when we said we will shut down the services business. We were doing decent revenues. We were like, we had about I would say 30 people, 2000 SFT office, very good thing and all. We said, hey, if we want to really scale, we need to cut down and focus on the product, because we are not doing justice to both of them. And we said, hey, let's do this. Okay, that's when we shut down the services business and started doing this. So that one of the clear validation for whether it's worth of doing or not is a customer, paying customer. Okay, we had that. We said we'll do it further. Now, after doing it further, then you'll say, hey, you're not able to raise funds. You're not able to get funds from other people. Everyone is raising millions and millions, and you being unicorns, where are you doing? Where are you heading? Okay, are you going to be a unicorn? Probably not. Okay. Now then the question comes on self-doubt. Are you capable of running this, or you're not capable of running this? So ideally, I would say worthiness is very personal. Okay, someone who is a very artist, who is an artist and really likes doing something, right? You're not doing business for the sake of generating just a wealth, right? There's something else that you earn pleasure out of, right? You really love the work that you're doing, and money there is just to make it profitable and sustainable, so that you don't have to think about everything else. Okay. Now, in those cases, you need to know your why. That's the crux of everything. Okay, once you know your why, once you know why you're doing things, are you connected to it? Are you still, it may not convince you. Okay, and if you are in doubt, okay, if you're down and you don't have any other alternative, don't worry about it, just keep walking. And there's nothing worth the destination or something. It's just the journey, like Shristi was saying in the starting. It's just the decision I took about I think I'll very fun a very nice instance. People tell me that hey Paresh, you were so brave that you skipped out of placements in college and started a company. Okay, I say I was not so brave. I actually ran out of college too. I could have faced my dean. Okay, my dean placements was so nice. He's so big guy, but like in a sense so powerful guy. We didn't have even guts to even go in front of saying I don't want to sit for placements. Okay. What I did was, hey, we need to do a 4-month project at the end of the semester. Okay, that's the thing. I said, I want to work on my venture as my project. Okay, this project I'll submit it because it's an MBA school. You can submit that as a project. You have an option. This is anyway a supply chain. You learn it. So I said, hey, I'm going to go to Hyderabad and work on this for 6 months. I was clear that I wanted to start up. Okay, it's not that I didn't. I was whether I was doubtful or not. I was clear that, hey, let me go and start up. I don't want to continue working or something. Now, when I said that, I didn't have guts to go and tell them. Okay, because there are a lot of things. People will laugh at you. People will do everything. But no, you are not so courageous to say and go and. ऐसा नहीं होता है. Okay. So I just put up a letter to my professor, another professor. I said, I'm going to do a project under you. This is my letter. I'm going to work on this for the next 4 months. I will see you and give you the project report. Okay. I came back to Hyderabad and I started. When I came back to Hyderabad, the questions are, why did you run off placements? Because parents are, you joined a college saying that it's going to be 100% placement there, and you're not sure of what are you going to do. And they are from middle class. They don't understand entrepreneurship. And आजकल तो fancy है. आजकल parents know what startup is. Back then it was धंधा कर रहा है, क्या कर रहा है. Okay, तो तू क्या धंधा करेगा? You know, none of us have experience in that. So that is how things are. Okay, what I would say, what helped me is, hey, now that you don't have any other option, you can't go back to college. You have to work on. The only way to go forward is this. You'll have to make it work. Okay, and when tough times come, when things happen, no, there's no other option. You just have to go. Okay, when worse things hit, we will see what other options could be there. So this is what I would say as a big takeaway for me. Hey, that decision, it was not a decision to quit placements or something, but yes, it was a decision that I just came back to and wanted to work on something that I liked very much. So yeah, that's you just keep doing it. Don't worry about what will happen, whether you'll get funds, whether you'll get scale, not scale. That's where you're thinking about the destination. The 12 years, I would not say there could be any other way I could have enjoyed that. Today, even I'm like pretty excited about everything that I do. I wake up every morning without it. There's no even a small sense of regret, right? So that's how it is.
Absolutely, Paresh. That is quite courageous. I would still say that you were courageous. I mean, despite of the story that you shared, because back then I'm almost from the similar batch, and I know how important it was to get your first job. Doesn't matter how much you get paid. If you've completed your degree, you should have the college campus placement done. That is how it was, right?
Hey, that was actually a good thing for me because I was doing websites and applications back in my college days. I said, hey, where my classmates were worried about placements, I said, I didn't need placement because that's something that I was not worried about placements back then. And just 4 or 5 days before the placement season started, I was in Chennai attending a B-plan competition, which gave me a second prize for the same project that I was about to submit. I had that pitch and all the food chain thing. And so that was good, right? So I was not in campus preparing for it or something. The reason Nikita asked, not Nikita, who asked that funds part? There was a question. Yes, Srikutan, you asked about the funds. How did you procure the initial funds, right? So the initial funds came from my scholarship money. Okay. And then I had 2 B-plan competitions. I won about 1 lakh back then. It was big money. I didn't have a lot of savings, but that was sufficient money to get in. So that was like initial investment. You already have a laptop that your dad bought in and nothing much, right? And you don't have to set up an office or anything. So that was the initial funds. I never raised anything from anyone there. They were friends ready to help if I needed. When we had to set up office and all, someone lended me money and all. But that's okay. A part of your. So most of the money came from everything that we built, mostly customers again.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pure bootstrapped to be.
For quite some time.
Yes, absolutely. So, Paresh, I mean, coming back, to this identifying the opportunity, it is often seen that, one gets too attached either to the problem or the idea or the solution, like in this process of, working. So any advice in this context for our aspiring entrepreneurs, with respect to getting too attached to the solution or the idea?
Yes, I think that's a very important question because being persistent is one thing. Being persistent and saying that this is something I would want to do, this is my why, I want to do that and all. At the same time, it's very important to let go. Okay, let go things and say it's not working. You have to close it down. Okay, it's okay because you don't want to stretch yourself so thin that this is the only thing that will work. And there are a lot of parameters. See, when you like an action, you have a passion, you want to be something, design or whatever you have, all of that is good. Okay, at the end, a business is supposed to make money. Okay, a business is something that has to generate wealth. Okay, it has to get money out of it. Okay, either customers, you need to make money out, right? So if it's not making it, if it's loss, if it's not profitable, you understood that it's not working, but you still try to make it work, saying that, oh no, I understand this, I know this is no, that is not right. Okay, very very subtle difference. There's no hard line, but things when go wrong, you have to let go, you have to stop it. It doesn't matter. There were many instances where we had to let go and stop a lot of things, and you do that. It's okay. And even today, if things go wrong, so there was time when actually one of my co-founders left, and we had almost downturn, almost half of the team, 80% of the team left. Okay, because of the uncertainties and things. But we said, okay, we want to continue then. I said, could we stop and close it down, or should we continue? That was a question that we asked. Now we said, the very important thing I think there is that put a time bound thing. We said, hey, we will work on it for 3 years from here. Okay, in 3 years, if we can't turn it around, then we will shut it down, whatever good it is. So there was something, this was an example, this was an advice given by one of my mentors. Say, if you're worried about things, don't worry about it. Just say, put a time limit. You put up your goals. You need to have a minimum success criteria. If you don't meet that, it's okay. You fail. You pick up something else. You're an entrepreneur. You'll always be an entrepreneur. Okay, that doesn't change. The idea may not be the work thing. And two things that are very important, I guess, guys, you would want to know, and very important thing that you shouldn't miss out is any business, if it has to grow, okay, it has to create wealth. It has to grow really big. The growth is very important. The year-on-year growth, month-on-month growth is very important. We lost it for quite some time. We didn't understand this simple principle until I think I would say 2017. Okay, I don't know. It took almost 6 years, 7 years for me to understand it. No one told me that growth is the only thing that you should look at. And if growth has to come in, market size is very important. Okay, getting into a very big market, something is very big, is very important. Otherwise, you will actually do. So I'll give an example. So you'll see all kinds of shops, right? You have a neighborhood kirana store, and you have a small supermarket, and you have a Reliance store. Okay, there are 3 different stores. Or if you know something like a Ratnadeep or a local chain of food stores are also there. Usually, always. Every city has its own local chain of stores. They have at least 10 to 15. Now, the question is, hey, if you say I want to sell, okay, I want to sell something, I want to make money, I'm passionate about business, do you go and put up a small grocery store beside you? Yes, you can do that. It will make money. Okay, it's absolutely, and you can make more than what you are actually doing in a job, like the software job fetches you about 30K or 50K per month. You'll probably make about a couple of lakhs a month with a small mithai wala store or a kirana store at your neighborhood. Okay, you don't know the numbers, that's the numbers. They make at least a couple of lakhs every month. Okay, now that's a decent money. 20 lakhs per year is a decent package. What are you worried about? Okay, now is that what you want to build is a question. If you think that is something that you like, you are okay with that, it's okay, you just pick that up. But if you set up a store like that and you think I need to build a Reliance, no, you are not. You need to think like a DMart. Okay, so that's the difference between what you build up. So if you're thinking really big, you really want to go big, then it's a bigger thing. Otherwise, small. And both has its own. There's nothing saying that this is good or that is good. At the end, the mithai wala guy is very happy. He's very happy with his family and the life and everything, right? He enjoys 2 movies every week. You may not if you are running a DMart.
Absolutely, that's a great example. So we have a couple of questions, Paresh. I'm just going to call out, and our participants want to get something answered. So Ramdeen is asking, how can you develop your startup on a large scale? Like, how do you expand? How do you scale up, basically?
Okay. Before you scale up, right? So Ramdeen, that's the important question. Before you scale up, first thing is you need to first get a fit. Basically, you need to have paying customers. Okay, don't think of scale up a large thing before you even have a product and a scale ready. Okay, you will know when the product you achieve the product market fit. What does it mean is that you're not able to cater to the customers in the existing way. There are more demand from the market than you can cater. That's the product market fit. Okay, that's when you think about scaling. Till then, nothing matters. Okay, till then, what you need to find out is keep figuring out what exactly is needed. Right now, how do you scale? That itself you will figure out that, because the process of entrepreneurship is that, hey, this is about learning how do you go from 0 to 1 and then from 1 to 100. Okay, don't think about 1 to 100, you think big. Yeah, you need to think that it's a market, big market. I mean, I want to be in a market that's like very large. That's true. But when you are entering a large market, find out a small niche that will give you 0 to 1 within a short time. And speed growth is very important. At the speed at which you are adding the customers, getting the users is going to be crucial factor for deciding.
Absolutely. Okay, so one second. Shrikutan wants to know that how did you get so who were your co-founders and how did you meet them?
Okay, my story as such, like there were people who joined me, though I started it alone. They were like, so my current co-founders, they've been with me for 8-9 years now. So it's 2011 and 12, one joined in 11 and one in 12. So they are co-founders now. So they're, one of them is my college mate, but he joined me after 3 years. So he just started and he said, I want to join. He just joined in without any expectation to be a co-founder or something. But yeah, staying committed, you liked it, and that's how they become co-founders. So no ideal way, no ideal which you basically one thing with co-founders is for sure you need to know the chemistry. You need to have a very good chemistry with the person. You need to know him well, because they are the ones who are going to support you when things are down. And you can't, if you do it, it's not a transactional thing, right? The same thing like how do you find a girlfriend or a boyfriend, right? You can't say because she has so many features, you have so many features, you say they are matched. No. You match and then you decide, hey, we are going to stay long for long time. Probably in case of your spouse, it's going to be lifetime. In case of co-founders, at least 10 years, right? In case of startup. So you need to have a chemistry, that's very important, and nothing else. And definitely complementary skills are important.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So Kaushal wants to know that how did you reach out to the alumni of institutions who were not connected with their alma mater?
Okay, that's very specific to our company. I think that's not very relevant to everyone, but yeah. So we don't sell it to the alumni. We sell it to the institutions who bring in their alumni. Okay, like say JNTU is a customer of ours. Then they market it to their alumni and saying that we have a platform that you can use. That's how it works.
Okay, great. Okay, Nikita wants to know that how can I reach out to the customers as a freelancer in college, like while in a college?
Okay, Nikita, this is typical not only for freelancer in college, but for anyone. How do you reach out to your customers? That's a very important thing. Okay. When you build, I think this is what I think I have a small blog post as well on my LinkedIn profile. How do you find your customers? Okay, that's always we say. How do you find your customers? Because you don't know where the customers are. You don't know what are they actually looking at. And in case of freelancers, maybe one part, but if you build a product as well, how do you find a customer? Okay, now question for first is like initial customers, you usually don't know. Okay, you get it from the initial inquiry, say you show it to them. Okay, you know that. Okay, so I'll define a customer base. For us, by schools, colleges, everyone is a customer. We say we run after only colleges and specifically the professional engineering and management colleges. Okay, we don't go after schools yet. Okay, because always the customer need is very different. In colleges, their placements and their higher student development is important. For schools, it is a nostalgia that is important. Okay, you get connected to your school friends for nostalgia. While they look same, your pain points are very different. Okay, now how do you find your customer? Is just jump into anyone, tell about what is your idea about, what are you wanting to do. If in case of freelancers, you create your profile, you create your business card, create your portfolio, start spreading across. Okay, then you'll find few customers who would want to do something, like they will come and say, hey, can you do this for me? Okay, you do it for paid one, and at some point of time you will know who are the best ones, what are the things that you're liking, what kind of best customers you have, right? Then it's all about scaling. That's what scaling about. Once you know your customer whom you like very much, you know what is a typical persona of the person and everything, that's when you start looking out for how do I get more customers. and that's a sales process or something. In a startup, that's very important. How do you build your sales engine and sales process is very important. I think I say that always because sales is what actually makes the company. We are like, we built up a sales process. We call it sales machine. That's a word that people use. Machine is like you put an input and you know what is output, right? Sales is to be predictable. It has to be predictable like a machine. Okay. And to do that, we are like currently about, I think 22 people sales team. Okay. That's a very large sales team to anyone. Okay. Usually not, and we close almost 15 customers a month. Very big number for any B2B SaaS company. Now, B2B SaaS selling inside sales, like we don't move out, we just sit in office and sell right now at home and sell. Okay, now that's a tough thing. But how do you do that is only after you know first who are the customers. You know a typical customer, his profile, what does he want, what are his needs, what are the questions he's asking, what kind of objections he has. All of that you will get, and then you say, yes, I know all of that. Now I need time to replicate. Right. So I think I have a blog post in case on my LinkedIn profile, it would be there. Just a nice process on how do you scale. Otherwise, if you're looking for from 0 to 1, you need to start marketing, try out everything that you can.
Absolutely. That's some great advice. So Mamendra wants to know that can we get funds if we have lower growth rate from investors?
Absolutely not. Don't worry. Don't even try out. Okay. Investors, who are the investors? There are multiple types of investors. If you're looking for VC funds, VC investors, growth is the only thing. Okay. If growth isn't there, don't even think of getting a VC fund, because see, understand what VC funds are. VC is not their money. They are putting someone else's money. And if they are putting someone else's money, they need to return that money with the growth rate. They bring in money promising them at least 3 times return. That's the typical VC return that they say. If I get 100 million fund, they need to bring in 300 million. Okay. So they invest in a company which can give them at least 10x return, because half of the companies they invest will die, other half will just return their money, and probably 1 or 2 will succeed and give them 10x return. That's how they make the 3x of what they are getting money. Okay, so growth is the only thing that a VC investor look at, any investors look at. Maybe your dad will not look at, your friends will not look at that. Okay, but otherwise everyone will look at ROI, and 12 to 15% is a minimum that bank is like, you get it from most of the places. A startup has to return at least 20, 25, 30% year on year. Okay, if you cannot give that money back, then no, you don't take money from outside.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So Rupak has a very interesting question. How to choose right idea when you have 2 ideas and both are interdependent? How to divide framework which can execute, like which one to execute first, or which one should we go ahead with?
Rupak, no straight answer, to be very candid. I think always, and you as an entrepreneur, not 2 ideas, you'll get 10 ideas for sure. Okay, that's how we are. Okay, we get ideas every other day. Okay, at least I did a mistake by working on multiple ideas when I was doing my services company. But that's a mistake. I know that's a mistake that I did. You can focus on one thing, pick up one thing, commit for it for quite some time, run it, make it work. If it's 2 different ideas that you want, they're not completely, if they're similar and they're connected, maybe you can try both the things. Best way is to try, best way is to seek, which is understand the market size, understand the customers, where can you find more customers, or maybe which is the one that you like. Intuition. Yeah,
that's the easy way out, right? The one you like.
But
so
pick up one. That's the key of it. Don't do multiple things.
Absolutely, that's the crux. So Srikutan again wants to know that, what was your strategy for bringing colleges on board? Like, how did you reach out? What was your plan and idea? How did you basically, what was your strategy?
Sales, there's no idea, no plan, no nothing. We have to knock the doors, get the colleges, get the decision makers, make them to listen what you're selling. They will like it. They will not like it. They'll tell you. And then you find out who are the decision makers. You understand the sales process, get more of them. Okay, there's no other way to get customers. Sales is the best way. Yeah, marketing. Yeah, you have to do marketing. So I think there's one nice book if you want to look at what are the channels of getting more customers. There's a book called Traction by Gabriel Weinberg. Okay, he's the founder of DuckDuckGo. He listed down about 17 or 19 different channels by which you can get customers, and very interesting book, must read. They call something called a bullseye framework. I think I can just type that here. Traction by Traction, book called Traction.
Perfect. And this is the last question that we have for this evening. Ramneen wants to know that how can we beat down overseas competition or business, especially, with respect to e-commerce? Any suggestions, any ideas?
That is very difficult for me again to tell, because very contextual to what you're looking at and all. So I could probably give a thought about overall competition as such. Okay, how do you look at competition? What's important for looking at competition? Now, like I said, competition will always exist. It can't be without competition. That's not going to be there. Now, while competition exists, there will be always ways, a small niche, small thing that a larger company misses out. Okay, where there's a larger company there's always small space for you to like क्या बोलते हैं, अगर दरवाजा लग रहा है तो there's a छोटा gap रहेगा from where you can actually pull your leg. Okay, put your leg and just pull it out. Okay, now examples, if you want to say, a simple thing that we are using is Zoom, right? Was web conference not existing? Absolutely was existing very well from the days of Skype. Okay, Skype to you have WebEx to everything that was existing, large companies using it. Okay, then how did Zoom come in? How did Zoom become so big? Is Zoom doing something different from what they have or what they didn't do? Was very different UI? No, absolutely not. They were all good. Every other like enterprise video conference tools are really good actually. Okay, they just made a difference in the way you onboarded customers. Okay, or you say chat, right? Chat is an example that we all use. I don't know how many of you are so young, but there's something called Yahoo Messenger that was existing. Okay, from Yahoo Messenger, people migrated to Google Messenger. GChat was so popular back then. Okay, now it's like everyone moved to WhatsApp. WhatsApp se pehle bhi Facebook Messenger वगैरह आया, but I don't think so. People are using Facebook today. Everyone moved to Instagram. People moved to Snapchat. Okay, you guys moved to Snapchat. You're not even using Facebook now. Okay, I know half of them are not using. Okay, they could be still like, who are using today are the parents, and काफी parents use कर रहे हैं, बच्चे कम use कर रहे हैं. Okay, now why did it move? Think about like when there is the space, when there is social network, such a bigger social network existing, how did a Clubhouse become so big? If you listen to a Clubhouse pitch today, as a startup VC, you're saying, what is new about Clubhouse? Nothing new, except for that it's an audio room. Why can't you turn off your videos and have an audio room on Zoom? Or Google Meets? Anyway, in enterprises, people never switch on the videos. Okay, at least even अभी भी आपको video switch on करने में बहुत मुश्किल होता है. I'm sure Shrishti would be wondering that, right? Why can't you do an audio room? Now, this is not so different. So basically, the thing is that, hey, there will always be something that a large company misses out. Okay, and why they can't do it is because there's a very big hierarchy in a large company. There is a very big any innovation has to come in, it has to go through a lot of process, and they are very afraid to take a risk. And you as a startup, you can be very agile. You can just do anything, implement anything, and roll it out so fast that a large company can't do it. Okay, why can't LinkedIn compete? And people told me LinkedIn already has alumni database. Why can't they build a competitor of yours? They can actually have it. I've been hearing this since 2014, and still LinkedIn doesn't have anything that we offer. Okay, now while that was a fear, it's not how do you ignore that? No. Do you say that I don't want to compete, I don't want to even consider that? No, you figure out something else. So what we do, our niche that we sell to the colleges is not actually alumni engagement. Okay, we sell to the colleges the student development part. We say, hey, your college rankings will go high if your students get placed, and your better placements will happen if students get interaction with alumni. And you can't do that on LinkedIn. You can't do it on anywhere else. You can have it on Facebook, everywhere, but you need a solution where you can engage with your students, and your students has to. So we're not selling actually alumni engagement. We are selling alumni student engagement. When we understood that's a niche, and we figured out that's a way to crack the college, that's what we pitch to the customer every time. Yes, we have a big space. We are not just reaching out to, and I think LinkedIn will come in. Let them come in whenever they want. They would want to see, hey, these guys have become so big, and they would want to come and acquire us, maybe, inshallah.
Definitely someday, but absolutely great advice. Just one last question. I know we are almost closing up. Which sector should I focus on? Should my venture be competitor centric or customer centric?
I think you know our answer by now. No question on that, right? Obvious answer is customer centric. Okay, competition, you can't compete with anyone. Okay, don't even think of competing with anyone. Don't. If you want to compete, benchmark with someone who is a leader in the space. Okay, want to compete, that's good way, because they have so many customers. I want to beat him in the market. Okay, but you don't win a game wanting to beat someone. You win a game wanting to play the game. Okay, if you start, this is a nice thing. If you start thinking that if you want to be a cricketer and you say, hey, I want to be a better cricketer than Sachin Tendulkar, and your aim is only to break his records, you'll never become a good cricketer. Okay, if you are wanting to better yourself, you want to play a better game, you keep doing that every day, and you stay long if possible, you will become a better cricketer. You break all the records of Sachin. But if you want to break the records, that's like breaking the competition. You're never going to do that, and you will not enjoy that. That's another important part. You will never enjoy beating someone. You will enjoy beating yourself.
Absolutely, absolutely. So Mamendra is requesting you to connect with his college because they're still using Google
IIT
Meet.
Lucknow, I think they are customer. There are some
Alumni.
issues with the college, but I think they are already your customer. Most of your colleges, wherever you are, I think they would be our customers. We have a huge list, almost. Yeah, now it's my sales pitch. We work with 6 IIMs, 3 of the old IIMs. I'm Lucknow, Calcutta, Indore, and the 3 new ones. 5 IITs. Then we have 11 NITs, all the old NITs, 11 of the old NITs. We work with IIIT Hyderabad, Bangalore, almost all top colleges, Symbiosis, any top college you name, mostly will be our customer. If they have not picked up us yet, it means that they're not doing it alumni relations anything. Okay, if they are doing with anything with alumni relations, they would look out competition, and mostly they will choose us. That's how we are right now. We are signing up almost 15 customers a month. And yes, if you guys want to work and experience with us, get a good experience of how startup works, we have a lot of openings as well. We're still growing, and I think, yeah, but if you are an entrepreneur, don't do that. You go and start up. If you have anything you worked on, you failed a startup, please come and reach out to me. Add me on LinkedIn, and then please reach out to me. I think you'll learn a lot.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Paresh, I cannot thank you enough for the time and all the insights and sharing your journey so candidly and, really thankful. I am sure the participants had a really informative, engaging and insightful, session today, and really thank you for your time. Really hope to meet you soon. And guys, thank you so much for joining in. Please connect with Paresh. Please visit his website. Do look up on LinkedIn. Do read his posts. It's quite interesting. I've been doing it the entire day. So thank you so much once again, Paresh, for taking out time. And it was a really my pleasure to host you.
Thank you, Srishti. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Paresh. Have a great evening ahead. And thank you guys for joining the session. We'll see you in the next session on Friday. Take care. Stay safe.
Take care.
Thank you so much.